Welcome back to Explain the Charts, everyone. Today, July 20th, 2025, we're diving headfirst into Ethereum, or ETHUSD, which has been making headlines with some truly explosive price action. Let's start by looking at the broader market sentiment and recent news that's been fueling this rally, and then we'll jump into the charts. One of the biggest stories is Tom Lee's bullish $250 million Ethereum bet, calling it a ChatGPT moment for blockchain, signaling strong institutional confidence. Just yesterday, former President Trump signed a stablecoin bill into law, marking the first major U.S. crypto legislation and putting Ether squarely in the spotlight as a beneficiary of clearer regulatory frameworks. Adding to the bullish narrative, Bitmine Immersion now holds approximately $1 billion of Ethereum as part of its treasury strategy, further validating its long-term potential. Reports are circulating of an up-only rally for ETH after breaking $3,000, with some traders predicting a staggering price top between $7,000 and $10,000 this cycle. We've also seen Ethereum surge over 41% in the last month, driven significantly by a short squeeze, indicating substantial buying pressure. The excitement around Ethereum spot ETFs is palpable, with record-high Ethereum futures and increased staking activity on the network further bolstering its strength. However, it's crucial to acknowledge the recent CoinDCX security breach, which saw $44 million lost, reminding us of the inherent risks and need for vigilance in the crypto space. Now, let's turn our attention to the charts to see how these events manifest in price action. On the daily chart, looking at the entire period available, we can clearly see the broader uptrend that Ethereum has maintained despite significant volatility. Notice the sharp correction around January-March 2025. This period saw ETH drop from highs around $3,700 down to critical support zones near $1,800, marking a substantial short-term reversal. This $1,800 to $2,000 area proved to be a strong long-term support level, where buying interest historically picked up, preventing further declines. Shifting our view to the more recent rally, particularly from May 2025 onwards, you'll observe a powerful bullish momentum taking shape. The price broke out from the $2,000 to $2,500 consolidation zone, aligning perfectly with the renewed discussions around Ethereum ETFs and institutional interest. This breakout above the psychological $3,000 level in early July was a key turning point, validating the up-only rally narrative we see in the news. The previous resistance around $3,000 has now potentially flipped into a new support level, which is a very bullish signal for traders. Let's zoom into the 1-hour chart to analyze the immediate price action over the past few days. We can see the rapid ascent from the mid-$2,900s around July 14th, pushing through $3,000, $3,100, and $3,200 with significant force. There have been some natural pullbacks, like the drop from over $3,400 to the mid-$3,200s on July 16th, but these have been met with swift buying, suggesting underlying strength. The current price action shows ETH consolidating in the mid-$3,500s, attempting to establish this as a new short-term base. Volumes have remained robust during these upward moves, indicating genuine buyer conviction rather than just a fleeting spike. Now, let's get even more granular with the 15-minute chart, covering the last 24 to 48 hours. Here, we observe intense short-term trading, with clear attempts to push higher and minor profit-taking dips. The immediate overhead resistance appears to be around the $3,600 mark, where price has faced some selling pressure. For short-term traders, watching these smaller timeframes for entry and exit points is crucial. A break above $3,600 with volume could signal a quick move higher, while a dip below $3,500 might test the resolve of buyers. Looking back at the daily chart, the overall trend is clearly bullish in the short to medium term. The short squeeze mentioned in the news is likely contributing to these aggressive upward candles, as traders are forced to buy back their positions. The increasing institutional adoption and regulatory clarity, although still nascent, provide a solid fundamental underpinning that could sustain this rally. However, the warnings about market manipulation are always relevant in crypto. While we see genuine demand, it's wise to be aware of potential artificial pumps that could lead to sharp corrections. Always keep an eye on trading volumes. Significant drops in volume during an uptrend can signal weakening buying interest and potential reversals. So, to recap the important price levels to watch. Immediate short-term support is around $3,500, followed by stronger support at $3,300. A critical psychological and technical support is the $3,000 level, which previously acted as resistance and must now hold as support. On the upside, immediate resistance is at $3,600, then the formidable $3,800 to $4,000 zone, which represents prior highs. Beyond that, the ambitious targets of $7,000 to $10,000 become relevant if the bullish momentum sustains into a full-blown bull market cycle. Long-term, the $30,000 prediction is certainly provocative, but would require sustained, widespread institutional adoption and significant advancements in Ethereum's ecosystem. For unbiased predictions, a bullish continuation to test $3,800 to $4,000 is highly likely, 70%, in the short term, especially if the current positive news flow regarding ETFs and regulation persists. Conditions reinforcing this include sustained trading volume above recent averages and clear breaks of minor resistance levels on the hourly chart. A healthy pullback to the $3,400 to $3,450 area is moderately likely, 50%, as profit-taking is common after such rapid gains. Look for bounces off these levels, possibly with higher lows, to confirm the underlying strength. A sharp reversal breaking below $3,300 is less likely, 20%, in the immediate term, but could happen with unexpected negative regulatory news or a major security exploit impacting general crypto sentiment. Longer term, reaching $7,000 to $10,000 within this cycle is moderately likely, 60%, if spot Ethereum ETFs are fully approved and attract substantial capital inflows, coinciding with continued network development and utility growth. Watch for official ETF approval announcements and quarterly reports from institutions for signs of increased crypto allocation. Also, monitor on-chain metrics like active addresses and total value locked (TVL) in DeFi to gauge fundamental network health.